guys, what's up? This is Joe Gauthreaux, and you are listening to JMG Live Music Lounge.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
Ready? Let's go. JMG Live Music Lounge with Jakari Harris. Hear it first with your favorite music artists and celebs. Interviews and entertainment.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the JMG Live Music Lounge. I'm your host, Jakari Harris, and we're back celebrating Pride this week with a special episode with DJ Joe Gauthreaux. You know, Joe is kicking off Pride weekend this Friday at Rich's, so turn up the podcast and let's go.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
On Thursday, June 29th, Aura Nightclub presents the Grammy Award-winning DJ and producing duo Nervo for Pop-Up Thursdays. Pop-Up Thursdays is a new monthly event at Aura that you don't want to miss. Tickets are still on sale, and you can get details today at aurahtx.com.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
So Joe Gauthreaux has been a staple in the LGBTQ community for over 20 years. From circuit parties to nightclubs, we've all danced to Joe's music. So when I heard he was playing at Rich's this week, I knew he would be the perfect person to bring onto the podcast to discuss Pride, RuPaul's Drag Race, and his latest tour with DJ Grind.
We call it a tour. It's 5 days, and these 5 gigs we just thought would kind of go good together, and we have been working pretty closely together the past couple of years. He's remixed a couple of my tracks, I remixed a couple of his, and we released our own track last year called Show Me What You Got. So, and that kind of became kind of a club hit, if you will. So we knew this summer we were teaming up with Anaya Day to release a cover of Love Is in the Air. So we kind of wanted to kind of promote that, and also just kind of, we kind of wanted to do something that was kind of different for the fans, because, while we do have, our like groups of fans, if you will, that, do get excited about it individually, it is kind of good to kind of change things up and give people something, different. And also, whenever two DJs play together, which is what we do the whole time, it kind of creates a different sound, because as alike as we kind of are in parts, we're also very different. So playing together just kind of creates this new energy and this new sound, and having the combination of his fans and my fans, which there is some overlap, but there also is, we each bring our own thing to the table. It kind of just creates this excitement around the gigs.
Definitely, I can definitely see that. And when you say you're different, what are some of the differences between you and DJ Grind?
Well, I think I kind of play more in New York. I'm kind of a little more known for like big rooms, even though he does play them as well. It's kind of a little more my forte, and his forte is a little more tea-dancey, I guess. But I don't want to put us each in a box. But that's just kind of like our forte, if you will. So, blending us together kind of creates, brings his strengths and my strengths, and then his weaknesses and my weaknesses. We each kind of complement those. And so, yeah, it definitely, we definitely have, like I said, we definitely have our individual sounds. We also kind of are alike, because he can play a big room, and I love playing an outdoor tea-dance. But, my forte is more of a big room, and he's a little more comfortable in that more tea-dance setting. I don't want to speak for him, but... Yeah,
okay. Yeah, it sounds good. And, you mentioned Anaya Day, and I just found out last week that you guys had a mix with her, Love Is in the Air. What's it like to work with Anaya Day?
Oh, she's amazing. I personally this is going to be our third track together, and the first 2 tracks were songs that I had written. And so this is our first cover version, and I've always loved this song, and I wanted to do a cover of it, but only if we could make it just different. So we brought the idea to her, actually been kind of singing an a cappella version in her set from time to time. She loves the song too, and I had no idea actually. So whenever Grind and I brought the idea to her, she loved it. So yeah, it's just, she's amazing to work with. She's so professional, and she's really quick laying down her parts. Usually any vocal session with her is never more than like 3 hours, which, I mean, I guess that does sound like a lot, but when you're including like all the background parts, the lead vocal, ad-lib, all that stuff really can add up. But I mean, she really brings her own flavor to it. No matter what she sings, you can she makes it sound different, but at the same time, you can always tell it's her, which is a really amazing gift.
Oh yeah, I mean I've listened to Anaya Day for years, so I can just imagine her coming into the studio and slaying you guys for a couple of hours, and then she's out the door.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I mean, she's also so much fun to work with too, and she just has that very unique voice where you really just believe everything that she says, you know?
Now, speaking of DJ Grind, you have another mix with him called Show Me What You Got. I was listening to it on your SoundCloud page this week. Is that song in your set? And describe the process in putting that mix together.
Yeah, we actually open up our show with that song. So it's more of like an opening kind of thing. It just kind of gets the crowd excited. We were actually making another track, believe it or not, and the girl who was over, her name is Jana, Dhana. She was at my house in my home studio laying down her vocal track, and she was doing a whole bunch of ad libs, and she was kind of like just doing like all these riffs, and she wound up doing the whole drop of Show Me What You Got, and we kind of thought, oh, that'd be like a cute ad lib or something. And then when we were actually making the track, we found that we really liked that. So we're like, maybe the idea we first had we could use down the road somewhere, because I think that's also a great idea as well. But this track we just kind of went with. So it was actually kind of a happy accident, if you will. But we love how it turned out, and it's definitely been, like I said, a huge club track. We've gotten support from so many DJs. And yeah, it's just one of those tracks that just gets everybody excited, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean it has a lot of energy to it, and I can definitely see people with their hands in the air at the clubs, dancing on the dance floor. So it's definitely a hot track. I definitely like it. Now you're gonna be playing in Houston this weekend for Pride on Friday at Rich's. What can fans expect from your set on Friday night?
Well, it's gay pride, so I'm definitely, and it's also a Friday night, so my set probably is going to be, more on the hands in the air vocal side. Sometimes when you play like a later set or on Saturday night, like a little later, you kind of go a little more, deeper, for lack of a better word. But yeah, this would be very much my hands in the air, gay pride celebration set. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I love playing in Houston as well because the crowd there is always so responsive, and I'm from New Orleans, so going anywhere back in the South just has that kind of going home feeling for me, or coming home feeling, if you will.
Yeah, I can imagine. You've played here many times before, Rich's, and where else have you played at? You played at South Beach before, right?
I played at South Beach a very long time ago, right when it first opened.
Okay.
And, yeah, I have.
And in recent years, Joe, I've noticed that, at least locally, a lot of the contestants from RuPaul's Drag Race are booked to make club appearances, which is all good because we love RuPaul's Drag Race, but they seem to be booked more so than some guest DJs. Has the success of Drag Race affected the way DJs are booked now at the clubs?
I mean, I haven't really paid attention to that, honestly. I'm pretty lucky that I get to still work almost every weekend. And like this weekend, I have 3 gigs, so I don't know the effect. I know obviously there is, a club has some kind of entertainment budget, but booking a DJ and booking a RuPaul Drag Race performer, I think it's kind of marketing to 2 completely different crowds. There are a lot of different subsets to the gay community, and people that go out, and people that want to dance all night generally would not be the first ones to watch a drag show or whatever for 45 minutes and have that just be their night.
Right.
And people that like to go out and dance do like to go out and, a club, whenever they have a name value there, it always contributes. Like I said, I mean, a DJ usually get like a 4 or 5 hour set out of, I'm assuming a RuPaul's Drag Race contestant doesn't really perform for 4 or 5 hours. It's different. There's different ways of entertainment. I mean, I play a lot of parties where they've had, me there, and they've also had a RuPaul's Drag Race contestant there. So it just depends on how much money the promoter has and, of what kind of crowd they're going for, and also, like, what kind of venue it is. I mean, if it's a venue that doesn't have, like, a dance floor that really can service out-of-town DJ, then they probably are more prone to booking RuPaul's Drag Race contestants. But if it's, like, a place like, Bridget in Houston, that's like a full-on dance club. So they obviously bring in a lot of, out-of-town DJs, and it seems to work for them.
Right. And I was just curious about that because I know, you've been around for more than a decade, since the 2000s at least, where you've been traveling and performing at clubs. And, at that point, circuit music was really big. You had queer as folk. So you had DJs traveling, Tony Moran, yourself, going from, city to city. And it just seems like, and I don't know if it's just the industry or if it's just the change of the music industry, change of the culture, but it just seems that I don't see as many DJs booked the way that they used to be booked in the 2000s. And I didn't know if RuPaul's Drag Race somehow influenced that because, like you said, the clubs only have a certain kind of budget for these events, whether they can do both a Drag Race contestant and a big name DJ at the same time, or they have to do one or the other. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's actually more DJs today than there ever has been. So, I mean, there's, the circuit's an ever-changing thing. I mean, obviously, there was that exposure on Queer as Folk, but I mean, nowadays, I feel like it's probably stronger than it ever has been. I mean, if you go to the Winter Party, their crowd numbers have been increasing every year for the past 10 years. It's bigger than it ever has been. It's way bigger than it was in the days of Queer as Folk. So I think it also just, a lot of times people, I get this a lot sometimes from people who are out of the circuit. And if you are out of, I'm not saying, I don't know if you are or not, but if you're not really in it and you're not really keeping up with it, then you kind of think it's kind of going away. Kind of like if you haven't gone to the movies in a while, you kind of think nothing good is out. Or if you aren't keeping
Right.
up with it, you just think nothing good is out. Whereas, I may have seen a great movie last weekend because I really keep up with the movies and I love the movie. Or some people might say, oh, there's nothing good on TV. And it's like, well, are you like turning it on? Are you like reading articles about it? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, well, then, so it's kind of that kind of thing where if you're not like in the circuit, then you kind of think it's kind of gone away because, it's not really getting mainstream attention. But trust me, there are so many circuit events this year. It's very, very, very rare that I play one that's kind of quote unquote a flop. I mean, I just played in DCC with Grind at our Pride event, and it was literally sold out. I mean, could not fit another person there. So it just kind of all depends on, like I said, like how you're in it, and like I said, if you kind of look for it, there's definitely a huge circuit community out there that is alive and going strong.
And, you obviously traveled to different Pride events. You have done so for many years. What's your all-time favorite Pride event that you've either played for or attended?
I think New York Pride will always be my favorite just because I live here and it's my home city. And I'm doing a huge Pride party this year. So I played a lot of Pride parties all over the country, and they're all amazing in their own right. I mean, just the fact that I live in New York, getting to play your home city for something as, something like a Pride event, that's just has a feeling that, that just can't be quite duplicated. But, I mean, the San Francisco Pride is always amazing. I'm so excited coming to Houston for Gay Pride. There's a lot of great prides out there. I've never been to a Pride where I'm like, oh, this isn't a good Pride. I mean, Gay Pride's always my favorite. Gay Pride's always my favorite time of year, so it's pretty hard to mess that one up for me on any level.
Yeah, it's always a good time, definitely. And do you have any other big releases or anything we should know about? Maybe that's coming out in the fall. I know you have a couple things coming out this summer, but anything that we should know about for fall or for Halloween coming up?
Yes, I have a couple of original tracks that I'm really, really excited about. But the next big thing I have coming up is my remix, my official remix, the single. I love Blondie. I've loved them forever. It was one of the first actual records I ever bought in the store. So when I was asked to remix it by her label, I was just so thrilled. And I just finished it, and I'm so excited about it. I'll be playing this Friday at Rich's.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
Thanks for tuning in to the JMG Live Music Lounge. Be sure to follow me, your host, Jakari Harris, on Instagram and Twitter. And be sure to tune in every Friday for the latest episode. I'll see you next week.
Visit jmgmags.com to download the latest episodes of the JMG Live Music Lounge podcast. This portion of the show is sponsored by Avant Media Institute.